the right market as well.
What particular age group are you working? What age group of students you are working for right these days?
See, it's K-12, it's the school students basically that we are higher grade plus the junior grade.
So there would be times when parents would also like to interact with you.
Most of the times.
So,
Because the student would come with a query a lot of times. The student would search the net, okay, now this is the question that I cannot find an answer to. Let me just Google it, So then sometimes they come to our side to just get one numerical of, say, physics solved or math solved, sometimes just to get rid of the current scenario, But, when they have to sign up for us, then obviously we require the credit card details and everything. So for that, anyway, the parent is included.
So what are the general questions they ask you, the parents, specifically in the beginning? What all they want to know about you?
How would you, it's always a unique case scenario actually. Sometimes parents have a, particular set of problems that they want the student, for their child to be taken care of. So obviously they would come, suppose say maths, this part is really weak. So how do you think you would cater to it? And see, as far as the academics is concerned, we have very, very capable tutors that are lined up with us. So we definitely take care of that because that's the service that we're providing. That's the service we're charging for. So that's not something that we would want to compromise on. So then obviously academically that's what we are selling. So we have to be really, really strong in and that's our basic focus. That's why the entire system is developed in such a format that we don't hire just any tutor or any teacher. This is not the qualification for us that this teacher is teaching in a particular school. So she's had interaction with a lot of students. We make them go through our screening test, the training module, the software requirements that we have, the basic software requirements that we have.
So when you conclude the tutorial, they have a kind of quiz in the end as well.
Again, it depends. It's a very customized product.
As per they want.
Yes. If they want to, say, get some kind of a test they have to face tomorrow in the school, if a student has to, and he says, no, this class I want to prepare that test, set of questions. So we go ahead with that.
So in both the cases, there is a factor of niche marketing over there.
It has to be there. No?
It has to be.
It has to be there.
Because till the time you don't have a niche market, you won't be able to succeed.
You can't tell them how you get.
How are you going to do that?
And moreover, then we're not educating them about the online. They know.
They
know it that जो assistants are available in it. So they would come with that kind of a thing. Maybe they are dropout from previous companies that they've had stints with, and
In your market, it is basically the internet is so widely spread out over there that it is the
they know it usually. You know, like हमारे लिए एक different concept होता है कि बताओ how you should go about teaching on the net. But these people know.
They know everything.
They know how to work on the net along with the tutor. They would know what's a whiteboard, how do they teach, and what's the sound. The parents ask sometimes these kind of questions, which are very technical in nature. Would you have a voice? Would you have?
So they definitely come to know about you from Google.
Yes, they do.
So how do you make your website so that it should come in first or second page of Google? How do you make sure that?
I think more than me, you would know how to do that.
No, I'm just
Yes, you are.
Well, we have that's yes.
We
So
have a marketing team based in our office only, in our head office only.
okay.
So they are pretty dedicated to
They take
marketing
care
of
of that part.
Yeah, we have a lot of interns with us, fresh graduates.
So that was from the beginning, from the first day or from the beginning days.
From the beginning, yes. Because it was all
Exactly.
e-commerce.
that again brings in the internet marketing part of it, whether it's SEO or social media or any other email or any form of email or internet marketing. It's something which is not very expensive also, and all the startups can take a lot out of it. So what are your future plans if I start with you?
My future plans are like I want to start off a new thing that is the photography tools. dedicated photography tours, like photographers, like any photographer who wants to go for a tour, rather than going on a normal tour and then getting hardly any opportunity to click. So they can be a group of photographers also, individuals with families or whatever it is. So I want to have customized tours for these people. Secondly, it is the caravan tourism that I'm part of. Caravan tourism as in you get a caravan designed according to, you have caravans in America or Europe.
So you hire them.
No, I'll have my own. So I'll have my own with a driver, with everything, with all the amenities, with camps and everything. So caravan tourism can become a photography tour as well as it can become an adventure tour.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So there are two things that I'm looking for, but the caravan is slightly expensive because I think there's one single caravan if you design according to the international standard, it is going to cost you somewhere around 20 lakhs. Plus the vehicle that you're going to attach it to. So that's slightly expensive, but the other part is obviously you have to bring in more variations into it. You need to know more about the photography, more about the camera, the exposure and everything. Only then you can conduct a photography. Or you have an expert photographer who wants to go along with the tour and conduct the entire tour himself, so that he can guide the other people also how to click better photographs. That's another.
So these are the new trends coming up in tourism.
This is not the new trend. I think it is not untouched by anyone.
Not untapped.
I have a question actually. How would you differentiate your kind of company to say a more known company goes into attention to tourism, like say what you said, the wildlife tourism. So how would you differentiate? What's the difference between say a Make My Trip or maybe your
Make My
travel
Trip
platform
or any such online travel company, they are not experts into it. They do not
And
know
say if you
even
compare
the 1% out of.
If you compare it to the Thomas Cook or
Even
the
they don't
older
know
ones,
anything about it.
there was this another company who was just the number one tourism company in the world.
See, all these companies I tell you,
Not
these
online
companies-
only. So,
No, whatever it is, like person who is been experienced into it, who is doing it himself, who is conducting the tours himself, he is a better expert than any company who's sitting in Gurgaon and booking a tour. Because anybody, like you take any company, worldwide any company, he's sitting in his office, he's booking a tour, he's sending that request to a supplier in that local area, and that local
So it comes
person
down to-
becomes the ground operator.
So he would anyway know better.
He would anyway know better. So in our case, we could also become the ground operators for companies in America or Europe. If they have a tourist coming to India for a wildlife tour or a photography tour, they'll hire us as a supplier. We give them our rates.
But
They'll
you
pay us
can
directly.
that brand.
Yeah. But that particular tour would be sold by that particular brand, not through us. But we'll be the person who will be taking care of it. That is how we differentiate ourselves.
What about your plans?
At this point in time, I would like Tarun to speak to me at this point.
Sure.
Future plans.
Please go ahead.
You must share.
Like you guys are talking about Indian market, so
Yes.
market and like this gentleman spoke about languages. So we are starting with K-12 and US market, so we'll spread to other demographics. We'll add more products like languages and maybe other customized courses like you were talking about Java or something which has demand in West and not so much supply leaders. So we'll see through how we diversify.
So you're ready to diversify in the Indian
That's
market?
the future plan. So the diversification will happen two ways, demographic ways and product language. Right now it is K-12 and math, science and English. We can jump into college, we can jump into languages, we can jump into other subjects and courses. We can look into different markets as well. We can look into Southeast Asia. So these are the two verticals for growth which can be adapted as per the situation in the future.
So So e-tutoring can help someone like, there's a big issue and there's a big problem that people, the fresh graduates, they come out of the college, but the industry doesn't accept them because they are not very high on skills. So particularly, a company would be more interested if the guy has skills, whether he's from any PDU college or any college in the country. With the skill, if you don't have the skill, then it's a big question out there. So how can is it possible that e-tutoring can help? Like you talk about Java and coding, like.
I was just looking into various interesting online propositions. So there are companies in India that just launched. They are giving business English communication skills to Indian graduates, freshers. So that they are accepted, during the interviews. They are rejected just because of their lack of communication skills, even if they possess a high degree of technical knowledge. So there are lots of, when you have an online platform, so nothing is unreachable. It can, so you have to choose what, like we shared, we did a lot of research before entering into this segment and market. So before going into any other segment or market, we have to do a lot of research before we can take that decision.
So that's a great startup tip, I guess. If your industry can grow, and if it's suiting the online thing, then you can have a portal and probably the outreach it increases. Outreach increases the activities. Any other questions from you, sir?
That'll be all. Yeah, I'll say, okay, as talked about demand of foreign languages and computer courses like Java and all. I believe demand is certainly there, but how to meet the demand? I think there lies a challenge. Because if I talk about French courses, many of us will be interested in learning French from home only. In fact, I'll also join. You are online tutors, right? I like to join. Because, if we see, talk about tutors, hardly any tutors are available who can teach French. So how to meet that demand?
So that is why this decision has to be taken at a certain stage. So this is not the right stage to start a French tutoring thing. So that's why we didn't start it.
Absolutely.
So when there will be a time when we will be having access to a certain kind of tutors who can teach a certain kind of language or subjects.
Right.
So those will form the basic criteria to venture into that product.
So it's on the agenda, definitely you'll be working on it.
You can hire French teachers in France as well, sitting here. So they can work on online tutors.
Certainly.
You have an e-tutor from France.
Rather than looking in India, you can hire
It's a globe, it's a globe. So there's a demand and supply
Always
mismatch
everything
going
is
on.
possible.
Virtual world is
when it is
becoming
already
bigger.
virtual, but
Everything
you
is
want it
possible.
here, you can have it anywhere.
Right.
And believe definitely authenticity part will be also be taken care of in terms of that.
It has to-
There would be more trust in it.
Let's ensure that people trust us as well.
The quality is
Let's not
main
agree
thing
on this
which
thing that
comes.
जो बाहर से खरीदते हैं वो ज़्यादा better होता है. There's no point.
We have that thing in us.
That is there always.
Quality is one of the major things.
At this point of time, we would definitely want to strike a relationship in the minds of the customers to be known. One is that yes, of course, it has to be a positive relationship. But if it is a relationship, we have to be known. So the relationship is more important to us. Definitely, again, as I said, that this is a service. Like both of us are into service. We're selling something virtual that's not existing. It's something to be experienced.
Exactly.
It's very difficult to sell something that is intangible.
Experience.
Once
It's all
you
about
don't
experience.
experience it, looking at the cost.
You are already paying for it, you know.
Even in your, it's like the hospitality.
Yeah, it's a
thing.
service.
It's a service.
So till the time they won't taste it, they won't get. They won't know. And till the time the taste doesn't.
And the taste would
go.
come only when you are doing it practically. Then there's no coming back also. Then it may be the next time that you, I have already experienced something bad, now you'll be more cautious
Of
about
course,
it.
of course, of course.
So that's how you
I feel personally in India that I personally feel that you know, once you send your child to a tutor, you probably you go, you know, tension free that somebody is
Ho
taking
jayega.
ho jayega. But a lot of, you know, people who are into who are tutors, they because of the large audience, you know, they cannot properly focus on each child, which becomes a problem in the end. And you know, after 6 months, if you ask the child what have you learned at the tuition, he would not be that. You know, sometimes it's not always, but yes, it happens. You know, with some tutors who take up big classes, you know, who have a lot of big audience in the rooms.
And the parent would actually send the children also to them, because इंडिया में तो तसल्ली नहीं होती तब तक ना जब तक किसी को सामने देख लो.
That is what I was asking you.
और शांति से नहीं मिलती. Somebody standing in front of you teaching you something, and then yes.
Parents would be sure if it's on he's on the computer, it's not studying.
हाँ, ये computer
Yeah.
क्या कर रहा है सारा दिन बैठ के? हाँ, maybe he's searching the net or something else. What is he doing on the net? They can't be there every day.
Do not even trust the e-marketing or e-banking. Hardly they do.
Is it somewhere connected
There
to
are
our
so
own
many apps.
discipline that we can really sit in front of the
They'll
computer
always
and not use it for
It's the
Facebook
ATM
only?
part of the card, not the credit card part.
But I think this is fast changing because e-commerce is really catching up very fast, more than what we can imagine actually.
That's changing in our
There's
generation faster.
so many people who are just surviving on e-commerce only. Personally also, and professionally also, but then personally also, the छोटे चीजें भी you are tending to order. You know, the concept has become such.
With Flipkart, you
So
know,
many
everybody-
things are there. So many
everything is
sites of
there.
that sorts are there.
the
Why?
sites were there, but then this trend has
Actually.
you know
Recently,
faced now.
like I used to go to bookstore to buy books.
Yeah.
There's something that is costing you 1,000 rupees on Flipkart, you'll get it for 600. There's one delivery still pending. I think he might be calling me from the road. So that's
So it's fast
how
changing.
much exposure does the Indian people have? It is just the exposure.
It's catching up. I think. It's really catching up.
I think we're overcoming the dilemmas of using probably
Yeah, the credit cards
on,
are so
online,
often that we
using online
use our
going for online payments.
yeah, it's so often that we do it now. You know, compared to if you go 5 years back, just 5 years back.
Yes. I clearly remember this IRCTC.
IRCTC is
It's, I think, the biggest and probably the oldest example. They cut down a lot on the reservation lines. You can just go online and probably buy.
You get the flexibility of time. It is eco-friendly as well as there's a lot of
Hassle.
no currency. There's no currency hassle in it. Whether you have a 500 fake note or it is you are just transacting online. So you get rid of all these things. You don't have to carry cash.
So any question, Deepak? They are also running a startup. They're into videos, video production.
Yeah, we better.
So,
He has a very bad experience with us.
No, really. But as per
anything going in your mind, Deepak, you want to ask?
Online tutoring, India has also changed the trends. Many of our tutors, my friends are also tutors of physics and chemistry. They are online. They take the classes and so many of the students, and they get 20 students per batch. They have taught in one time. They have taken. इंडिया में भी अब ट्रेंड चेंज हो रहा है. ऐसा नहीं है कि इंडिया में भी
No, eventually it is going to be. I mean,
we are directly
not
in
if
it.
you buy it.
they can also change the trends. Even आज टुडे मार्केट के अंदर हर एक स्टूडेंट्स को चाहिए कि एक ट्यूटर हो जो उसको एनी टाइम अवेलेबल हो कंप्यूटर के ऊपर, बिकॉज टाइम चेंज हो चुका है, पेरेंट्स की भी थिंकिंग भी चेंज हो रही है, वो नहीं सोच रहे कि हाँ मेरा बेटा कंप्यूटर हो तो आज खुद लगे रहते हैं, ले बेटे पकड़ कर ले काम. So you can also be thinking that you can get to the Indian market.
I can somehow sense this thing because I know a few companies who are probably doing something like you, a little different, not exactly into tutoring, but yes, they're getting into education, online education, and you're working on different plans of probably e-learning. And so I think so many companies are coming into it in the next 2, 3, 5 years. We can see something.
There's so many companies in the south who can come forward.
This big example of India, I guess.
Sorry, that providing management courses and any diploma courses online. If you don't have a time, you can go and take your classes anytime by just sign up.
I think in India, I think there are people those who want to go into for engineering or medical. I think they just after the 10th, they take admission into a dummy school only, and they go into that institutes basically, Alex, Echo, Kash, and all. So they are taught more better in that case. So slowly and slowly they'll also get into this e-thing.
So any other questions? We'll open the question now.